Hello, my name is Avery, and welcome back to another episode. And this is the sequel to the Gold Star Rayquaza PSA 9 journey. Now, I talked about that yesterday, and I said that I would post what I traded for today, and I will. So, just as a couple of extras, I got a complete in box gold and a complete in box silver. These aren't really much when you're talking about the amount of money that the Rayquaza, nothing stands on this felt. When you're talking about the amount of money that the Rayquaza actually is, but I needed these to fill out my Pokemon Complete in Box main series collection, and now I'm done with all of them. So that was pretty fun. Moving on, the next biggest thing I got was hands down copy of Pokemon Crystal sealed. Now I'll take this out of the box. I think I'm gonna get this graded. I might. I don't really even know how it works. It has one dent in it. I feel like I can get that out somehow. But other than that, it's in super good shape. The seal is doesn't really have any scratches on it or anything. It's very, very clean. And my favorite part about this, well, first of all, this is my oldest sealed Pokemon game, but my favorite part is that this is actually an earlier printing of Crystal. There were two major printings. Let me get the other one, just so you have some reference. There was this one and then the later one. The main difference, the thing you can tell right away, is that this one has the Y fold on the bottom, whereas this one has the flat box. But the even cooler way to tell is if you read here, this is the newer one, you can say that see that it says Gold and Silver Series Pokemon. You can see that, right? Gold and Silver Series Pokemon. Now, if you look at the old printing, this has a typo right there. Gold and Silver I don't know. It's like a bracket Pokemon. This is legitimate. This happened in older printings of Pokemon Crystal, and it's really cool to actually have this variant when compared to this one, and especially a sealed copy of it. And lastly, I traded this. I traded the card for the big three starters in first edition PSA 5. Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. Now, I know they're only PSA 5, but I'm going to go into exactly why I thought that this trade was 100% worth it for me in its entirety. I really cannot balance it on the felt. Why this trade was completely worth it. Let me just put these in the background. Now, I want to talk about PSA populations. I have been collecting cards for a while, especially video games, but I definitely know a lot about Pokemon cards. And I can tell you straight off the bat that the PSA population for a PSA 5 first edition Charizard is very comparable to that of a PSA 9 Gold Star Rayquaza. Now, they are in completely different sets. However, if you look at the prices, again, they're pretty comparable. This sells between 8 and 12,000. 8 on a very bad day, 12 on a very good day. So we can average that out to about 10. Whereas these are about 1,500 a piece if you average them out again. Pokemon Crystal Sealed has gone up and up and up in value. At this point, it's really more than 1,500 and a little bit less than 4,000. So again, if you average that out, let's say it's 2,500. And if you look at it that way, PSA 9 Gold Star Rayquaza sold an auction for $11.2 thousand this last weekend, and I'd be getting out of this trade probably around $15,000. Now, on the short term, obviously that's great. If I wanted to liquidate all of this immediately, I would be coming out on top. I'm not going to, because that would be really stupid. But if I'm thinking about this as an investment, which I am, I could have just traded it for $14,000, $15,000, which he would have done. I'm not doing that. Why am I not doing that? Because money doesn't appreciate over time. Collectibles do. And they really appreciate over time. I can tell you from collecting these Pokemon games, from collecting Game Boy Advance, GameCube, etc. I've seen a big, big increase in price, especially in the pandemic, for obvious reasons. But I wanted to trade for something that I could also display, obviously, but invest in. Now, if you look, I'm just going to talk about the Charizard first. If you look at the PSA 5 Charizard, This is the chase card of the entire Pokemon hobby. This is the card that everyone wants. Not necessarily PSA 5. I'm talking about a first edition Charizard. This is the card that everyone wants. There will never be a time where you list this on eBay and you don't get interest. And if that time comes, the hobby's going to be dead. That's not something I'm ever going to be worried about. If for some God forbid happens and I'm in the hospital and I can't afford my bills or something like that, I know I'll be able to sell this and I'll make at least $10,000 pretty much right off the bat. Now, the Gold Star Rayquaza is a bit more difficult to move than the PSA 5 Charizard. While it is the crown jewel of the EX era, it is not the chase card of the whole hobby. There's a lot more niche of a market to get to that card. And while you might look over time and see it appreciating 10% a month or so, that's going to stop at some point. And I don't think it's going to get to $50,000 for a PSA 9. PSA 10, you see huge growth in every single thing. But I'm talking about a PSA 9. That's just because the amount of cards that exist for Rayquaza, I think it's around 180. And the amount of PSA 5 Charizards is around 200. There's not going to be a new one of those added to the set registry every week and a half. The amount of cards in circulation for both are pretty much where it's going to be forever. Now, while I do think there will be hype around the EX era in the coming years, just based off of trends of what I've seen with games in general, that, GameCube seeing a big shift as my generation got into older ages and they were able to then purchase their childhood with disposable income, I don't think it's going to be as extreme as the current Pokemon boom, especially for first edition cards. I think that this is a much safer long-term investment, especially when you look at the fact that a PSA 9 Gold Star Rayquaza sold for just under $2,000 a year ago. Now, how much was this going for about a year ago? $5,000. That's a lot more steady of an investment than the Gold Star Rayquaza. And I'm not really one that's looking into risk. I would much rather have something that I know will at least hold its value rather than appreciate/depreciate over time. I'm not saying Rayquaza is going to go down. I don't think it will, but I definitely think it's going to hit a peak for a PSA 9 at some point in the near future. Maybe in near future meaning a couple years. Now, the reason I didn't just settle for these 3 cards, even though, that's a pretty good deal, I would be getting about an even trade value just for these 3, is because I've also seen an absolutely huge demand increase for boxed, sealed Pokemon games. The condition obviously does have an effect, and this dent is going to take down from it a bit, but you could buy a sealed copy of Crystal about a year and a half ago, $500. And at this point, it's really near and more closer to $2,500 for the worst condition. This is not in horrible condition. It has the one dent, but other than that, you can tell the seal is completely on right. It's very good. I might look into getting this graded, probably in a couple of years. I'm not really looking forward to doing that right now, but this is something I know, again, will appreciate, and I think this is going to appreciate faster than the Charizard, but this is for sure not something that's just going to Oh, by the way, this is on the box. This isn't on the this is on the cardboard box. It's not on the thing itself. It's like a tape residue. This is not something that's going to ever drop in value. Just because all of these things, we're talking about a lot of scarcity. These things are never going to be printed again. These things are not going to just appear in somebody's basement. And I'm not saying that a Gold Star Rayquaza is either, but I would like to talk about the final reason as to why I did this trade. I love the EX era. It's what I grew up with. I do like it. I like the artwork. You can see I actually got an EX Deoxys thing. I was going to show that in another video. Yeah, I got more than that. I got a whole set of posters and stuff. They're actually behind me, but I'll show you that in the next video. That being said, this guy's favorite Pokemon was Rayquaza Gold Star. And it's not my favorite Pokemon even a little bit. I'm actually not even that huge of a Rayquaza fan. There's a lot of Mons I like more. Metagross. I like Metagross. I like T-Tar. Bunch of Pokemon that I like a lot more. In terms of enjoyment, if I feel like I'm not getting the same sort of nostalgic or or wanting vibe out of, you know, an item, I don't think I should still own it. I'm not going to go ahead and liquidate it right then and there because pretty much the investments I've made in this realm have stayed in this realm. I usually put my money back in when I do end up making money, which is, you know, I do end up making money, but I put my money back in rather than just, I don't know, invest it in something else or keep it in my bank account. And I'd rather reinvest the card or the value of the card into stuff like this. This is stuff that I'm going to treasure pretty much forever. I'm gonna get like a set display for all three of these. I'm gonna be able to finally display a sealed copy of Pokemon Crystal, and I'm gonna be able to show off the entire set of Pokemon complete in box Pokemon games from Generation 1 to Generation 7 or Generation 6. I stopped at Generation 7. I didn't like those. And I'm gonna have that forever. This guy's gonna have that gold star Rayquaza forever. He's gonna have my story to tell. He's gonna have the story of our negotiation. I don't think he's gonna get rid of it. Not I don't think. He's not going to. He's told me specifically what his intentions were with the card. If I thought it was just to invest and then flip it later, I wouldn't have traded it to him. I really do think that this is the best of both worlds. I'm getting about a $5,000+ in trade value, assuming that the card is going to go up in the future. Again, if I liquidate all of this, I'm making at least $15,000. Whereas he's getting his favorite card, and it'll probably go up, but I don't think it's going to get up that much. And if it does get up that much, I think the Charizard's going to follow suit. Again, this is the chase card of the hobby. There's never going to be a point where somebody isn't looking to buy a PSA, anything first edition Charizard. A PSA 1 sells for $4,000, $5,000. But yeah. Now, before I stop the video, I am going to give you guys a closer look. I know you've probably seen a lot of these if you've ever seen a PokeTuber, but it's really fantastic. I actually don't think this should probably get a 6. It's in very good shape. It doesn't have any hollow scratches, as you can see. And the centering isn't that bad, but centering doesn't really matter for this type of grade. The only real issue is the whitening on the back. You can see that has a lot in the top, but on the bottom it has virtually none, and on the sides it has virtually none, and it has little tiny corner wear. This really looks like a 6 when you compare it to the Venusaur, for example, which also got a 5. Doesn't have any hollow scratches. None of these do. But if you look at the back, it has a lot of whitening. Up there, on the sides, on the bottom. This makes sense to get a 5. And same with the Blastoise. Again, there's no hollow scratches on any... Oops. There's no hollow scratches really on any of these. There might be a... Nope, there aren't any. Doesn't look like there are. Hardly any print lines. Really nothing big. And the centering for all of them is pretty much good. I mean, it's a little bit off right to top, but again, I don't think they care about that when they're looking at this type of grade. But if you look at the back, a lot of whitening on the side. Makes sense why this got a 5. I honestly think I can regrade that Rayquaza, not the Rayquaza, the Charizard, and probably get a 6, and that would be huge. I might send it in again. I've never really regraded any of my cards, but I honestly think this one might be worth it just for the insane price difference between every grade of Charizard. Now, I want to hear your guys' opinion. Was this trade worth it? Over time, do you think it's going to be worth it? Is this going to be the most poorly aged video of all time? Am I an idiot? Did I trade away the biggest card of the EX era and get nothing? I mean, clearly for the 1-to-1 trade, I came out on top, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about long term. Was it worth it? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe, like if you enjoyed this. I personally like talking just about market speculation. In terms of video games, in terms of cards, really don't see anyone talk about this in terms of games. I do this for fun. I really just collect for fun. This is my favorite hobby. I mean, I have a lot of hobbies, but it's like, you know, playing games. I love games. It's fun. And I like selling them and buying them. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any comments. And yeah, I will be making another couple videos in the next few days. I think I'm going to start including my face when I talk about this type of stuff. Not like the hauls, but when I talk about just like market speculation, I feel like people would like to see my face rather than just watch my hands go like this for like 15 minutes. But yeah, let me know how this was. This is kind of like a new format that I'm doing, but cool. I hope you guys have a nice night. I know I'm uploading quite late Oh, my phone's about to die. Stop it. Stop. Okay, there. I hope you guys have a nice night. These are kind of late, but I've had a lot of homework. So there you go. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.